All right, guys, we are live here on JBuck Studios. It's me, obviously, Jared Buckendall, and we're living in a strange time. I'm probably gonna have to repeat this, obviously, once people start getting in here into the stream, dropping questions, a Q&A. But yeah, there isn't many movies, so it's kind of this weird thing where there's going to be a lot more, I would say, live content, like these live Q&As, JBuck Live, obviously the weekly show on Tuesdays, which I think we've done that for about a month and a half. And I think that I am very pleased with how that show or product, I guess, here on the JBuck Studios channel has really turned out. I guess my thing is it was perfect timing because I went down to South by Southwest. It didn't really pan out, but I was down there and I was able to use my time to essentially make kind of the segments and map out that show in particular. So if you are a fan of JBuck Live, thank you so much for checking that out every single week. And also thank you so much for just being a fan and supporter of the content I put out, because, there's a lot of people out there that are doing essentially the same thing. Everyone's doing movie reviews. Everyone's doing trailer reactions. Everyone is talking about movies. Everyone has their own opinion. So, thank you for really choosing my channel or supporting me and hanging out and everything. But we have some people coming in here already. We have how are you? We have Deep in the Films Core. Yes, Spongy, you're changing your name every single week. I am doing well. Obviously the quarantine, staying inside, all of that stuff. I was looking in the mirror probably 5 minutes before I went live, and I was like, I am about a week or two from shaving my head, not entirely shaving my head, but trying to give myself my own haircut. Obviously this is growing out too. This is the longest it's ever been. I cannot grow facial hair worth heck. Yeah, Aja or AJA or Aja Walker. Yes, I recognize you. You're always commenting all my stuff. So thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Film Freaks, Trevor over there. I believe it's Trevor. If I'm forgetting, I don't know. I'm so in the weeds about people. Dude, quarantine beard. Nice. Yes, it's not much of a beard. It's kind of just patchy. It's patchwork. I just kind of picked up hair off the ground and just pasted it to my face. But how are all of you guys doing? What have you guys been really watching and everything? Because again, I don't know if you were in here at the beginning, but there's no movies. So is it a lot more Netflix? Is it a lot of movies you've missed? Is it a lot of rewatching of movies? Is it a lot of TV shows and stuff that you're trying to catch up on? I'm curious what you guys have been kind of watching and everything. Let's see here. We have some questions coming in here. Yeah, this is going to be more of a casual thing. If you have questions, throw them in. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of have a little bit of a conversation, I guess. Deep in the Film's Core is most controversial most controversial movie. That's really tough because, you can dive into the sphere of, hey, are we going with almost a religion aspect? Are we going with a gender aspect? Are we going with a comic book fan type thing? I guess most controversial that I have witnessed myself on my channel is probably, oh my gosh, my trailer reaction for Birds of Prey. And again, this was right before the movie was coming out. It was the second trailer. I got my trailer reaction up. I believe I was one of the first ones, and it got a decent amount of views in probably the first hour. I mean, if you're not familiar with how trailer reactions work, that's about it. That's all you're going to get probably the first couple hours. And I said that the movie didn't look that great. And everyone in that video, you can go read the comments yourself. Everyone was bashing me. Everyone was hating on me. And I guess it was just, everyone has their own opinion. So I very much was on one side of Birds of Prey, went into the movie, I saw it. And again, I wasn't that high on the film. I'm very much in the minority. So I think that might be the most controversial that I've run into, with essentially backlash from the fans of Birds of Prey, the fans of DC, comic book fans, just fans of movies. They did not like what I was saying about that movie. And again, it wasn't hateful. It was just my opinion saying that the film didn't look that great. And again, people love it. I wasn't a fan of it. I don't change my name every week, every 3 months. This is the definitive name. Perfect. Okay. Deep in the film's core, that is his name. That is what he's sticking with so much. Yeah, people what they've been watching. Seth Ott, a great friend of the channel, great friend in real life. I've been on his podcast many times. He has been watching Dave over on Hulu. The kind of almost, I wouldn't say mockumentary, but kind of a faux doc or like biopic show of Little Dicky, the rapper on YouTube. I was never familiar with this stuff until Dave. And yes, Dave, if you haven't watched Dave, jump over to Hulu. All 10 episodes of season 1 are over there right now. And it is some of the funniest laugh out loud material. Like, I literally was crying during a few episodes. And it's not only just funny, slapstick, kind of well-written, quick humor. It actually dives into some like serious topics, dealing with like kind of like conversation or communication in relationships, mental health and stuff like that. And also, I don't know, it's tough to explain. Very funny, but also great show. So if you haven't watched Dave, I would very much recommend going and checking that out. Yep, Jared. Okay, I will remember that. Aja, I will remember that for you. Funniest guy in the movie community that isn't you. You're the funniest. Oh, deep in the film's core. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. I know that there's plenty of, again, like I mentioned, there's a lot of people in the movie sphere, and you have to find your kind of personality, your own style. So I kind of leaned into humor, comedy, because that's my thing. Probably funniest, man, there are some people that I don't really run around with. I'm not too familiar with, but I absolutely love kind of the style, quick cuts, the weird things that they do. The Flick Pick, for example, he's one of the bigger people, and his isn't strictly funny, but I think that he just has such a charismatic attitude when it comes to things that he is just so likable, I would say. Again, I don't dive too far into people's content. I very much love Dan Jensen from Dan Jensen Movie Talk and his alter ego Bongo. Me and him, we very much connected on that because I like his style of humor. He very much likes me, and he lives over in Australia. But I think we've even talked like kind of not in collaborations or anything, but we've talked, and we pretty much would be best friends if we lived closer to one another. So yeah, I really enjoy him. I don't know. Let me know in the chat, all of you guys watching, who are people that you think are funny, who I should maybe, go out of my way and maybe do collaborations with, because I am very open to funny people in the movie sphere and all of that. We have Andre Reacts. Thank you, Andre, for tuning in for this live Q&A. Appreciate it so much. What is the last movie you saw at the theaters or movies before quarantine? This was a funny one, and it's a lot of other people's. It was Bloodshot, but it was actually, so I was down in Austin, Texas, supposed to go there for South by Southwest. I still kept my tickets to go down and see my sister. So I was like, okay, well, she's working. I'm going to go to movies. What new movies? So I actually did a double feature of Bloodshot and The Hunt. So it was boom, boom, back to back. And I don't know, it's so weird. I did not expect The Hunt and Bloodshot to be the very last two movies I saw in the movie theater. I'm curious, what's the last movies that you guys saw in the movie theaters? It's probably going to be Bloodshot. It's probably going to be The Hunt, or maybe I'm trying to think what came out the week before that. It was maybe Onward. I'm wondering if those three are sort of everyone's last movies in the movie theater. So yeah, it's kind of a shame, to be honest. The last film I saw was Pixar's Onward. Yep, that's a good one for people to see. I know that it's I believe it's free on Disney Plus right now. Very great Pixar film. Jump over there and check that out. Movie Files. We have, I believe, Movie File. I'm blanking right now. What show or shows have you been binging lately? As people that are fans of my channel and whatnot, I'm not a big TV person, but right now I'm finding a lot of extra time essentially to watch more TV. And I talked a little bit earlier, and I would say Dave is one that I sort of binge watched and whatnot. Very much love the humor, very funny. On Friday, I binge watched the new Solar Opposite show that's over on Hulu. It's the same creators or half of the creators of Rick and Morty. Same animation style, same sense of humor, a little bit different kind of dynamic of the characters, but very much love that. Check that out if you're a fan of Rick and Morty. So that's what I would that's one kind of quick show that I've binged. But also my friend Seth, again, here in the chat, he had watched this show called Upload over on Amazon Prime, and I binged that as well. I was about 4 episodes in, and I was like, I got to finish this. I really enjoyed kind of the characters, the dynamic. And if you're not familiar with what Upload is, essentially when you're about to die, or you're getting older, or you're about to die, you have the chance or opportunity to essentially, get cremated, buried, all of the normal stuff. But there also is this one place, or you can do Upload, where you get your whole conscious and all of that memories and stuff uploaded into this virtual space. So essentially you can live forever. It's very weird. It's very funny. It's very much leaning almost into like a comedic side of Black Mirror. And I really liked it. I'd say go give it a try if you're a fan of any of that kind of weird stuff, sci-fi, humor, great characters, I would say. It's interesting for sure. It does have some nudity. So if you're into nudity, go for that, I guess. Let's see here. We have Zachary. What famous people grew up in your area? One of the people that won an Oscar for Coco went to the high school that I'm currently going to. Wow, that is crazy, man. That means that wherever you're from, wherever you're at, you can make it big. You just have to keep hammering at it. Keep up the good work, Jared. Thank you so much. No, thank you for the question, and thank you for those positive comments and everything. Famous people that grew up in my area. I will admit, I grew up in an area and went to a school that I believe I had 32. No. I had 38 people in my graduating class. I have way more subscribers than people that went to my hometown. So I went to a very small town. Here in Iowa, though, there's quite a few people. For example, I went to the same college as Ashton Kutcher. Another person, Camille Nanjiani, he went to a college here in Iowa. Tom Arnold, he went to Iowa. So there's a decent amount of, I would say, writers, producers, because University of Iowa is a big school for writing, or one of, I wouldn't say prestige, but it's the best one in Iowa. Other than that, I'm trying to think. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Aquaman, Jason Momoa, lived in Iowa for a little bit of time. So yeah, there's kind of some actors and actresses that you're familiar with or of that are from Iowa, not necessarily my area, but yes. Sponge, or yes, I'm gonna call you Spongy. Deep in the film's core, you can call me Spongy. Spongy it is. By the way, the funniest is Jay Vaders. I know that I've gotten that quite a bit from other people saying that, he's someone that I need to check out and whatnot. So I don't know. People say that he's the funniest, so I'll have to go check out his style and everything and see what's going on. Bongo, yes, Mission Spooky Bongo is bringing you the greatest news and everything like that. So yeah, go check out Bongo. He has a funny wit to him for sure. Skull Queen is in the house. Dan is funny even without Bongo. Yes, I will agree. Bongo is his companion. Like, they complement one another. They very much are different people, but they complement one another. Patrick, yes, Patrick, man, my God, man, it's probably super late for you over there. So thank you so much for making it. I was able to make it. Just finished my shift at work. It's 2 a.m. start till now 10 p.m. Holy crap, you must be working a ton. Wow. Now I ask, what movie made you the horniest in the theater? Oh my God, this is going to be telling. But my God, I know, I will say, I know that it's probably a movie that I've reviewed, because I was thinking to myself, I don't know how I'm going to be able to convey these feelings in my review. I did see 50 Shades Freed, I believe, in the movie theater. The thing is, that movie's not horny at all. Oh my God, I'd have to go through my reviews, but I know it was some movie I watched like in the last 2 years, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is getting risque." If it wasn't in the movie theater, I would probably say it's something when I was like a young kid, probably American Pie, American Pie 2, those kind of movies in the early 2000s that definitely had like the notorious nude scene that people would always talk about. So Patrick, I might have to get back to you on that one. Yeah, Crunchy's asking the same thing. Skull Queen says last movie was Birds of Prey. Okay, yeah, that was a little while ago, but Birds of Prey. It's so funny to think that we only got 2.5 months a full 2.5 months, because January, February, half of March of actual theatrical released movies. So it's crazy. It's crazy to see that. Seth says his last movie was The Hunt. Yes, The Hunt. Seth, did you ever see Bloodshot, or did you completely skip out on that one? I know that you're a huge Vin Diesel fan, everything like that. So yeah, I'm curious about that. Are there any podcasts that you're into right now or recommend? Yes, I will say Mission Spooky. I wouldn't say shameless plug, but my friend Seth here in the chat and his friend Cody, both my friends as well, I know them from college. They put together a very highly produced kind of movie. It's movie TV, kind of a little bit of shenanigans, reviews, segments, fun stuff. Like if you ever are looking for a new podcast, I would check out the SoCo Show. I've been on their podcast the last 6 weeks, I believe, but they are close to about 3 years. Again, they started about the same time I did, and we kind of work off of each other. They've done a few videos for my channel, and I've obviously contributed to their podcast. So if you're looking for anything in the film sphere, definitely check out the SoCo Show. Ones that I've been listening to on walks, though, have you guys ever heard of The Last Podcast on the Left? It very much tackles like this weird kind of like conspiracy theories, weird things in history, kind of murders. They even like kind of like cults and stuff. Like it very much scratches that itch of weird. And I like weird things. Like there was a few that I listened to a couple days ago that they were talking about like alien abductions, and how like it's these 3 or 4 different stories over like a 100-year period, and all of them essentially have the same aspects to it. So it's very weird, it's very goofy, and plus the guys that are doing the podcast, they've done it for like 10 plus years, so the chemistry amongst them is so good. Plus, I think they all have like comedy backgrounds. So the shit that they say is very much unfiltered and very funny. Another one is called The Comedy Button. They are all guys that used to work at GameSpy and then IGN. And it's very much like it says, it's The Comedy Button. And it's just nonsense. Like whatever they want to talk about, they talk about. And it's usually like 80s or 90s, like nostalgia with like toys and video games and weird stories that happened in their past. And that's kind of a big influence that I use for my podcast, especially my Patreon episodes. They get weird, they get off the rails, but yeah, those are a few podcasts that I listen to for sure. Last Podcast is Why I'm Podcasting. Yes, that is awesome. Yes, Spooky, that is awesome. Yeah, I just found them recently, probably within the last like 3 months, and I absolutely love their podcast for sure. Spongy says, did you know my mom met Benicio del Toro and studied with my mom? My grandma gave class to Ricky Martin. If those are true, that is awesome, because those are both big names, especially Ricky Martin, which is funny. Like a funny story about Ricky Martin, obviously the 90s, she bangs, and he was a huge icon. We always used to, like as kids, would call him Sticky Martin. I have no idea why. We just did. That was it. Nice. I'm glad you liked Upload. I watched Solar Opposites as well and enjoyed it too. Yes, we'll have to talk this week again. Seth, I'll be over on your podcast again so we can talk about that stuff. Patrick, hey Patrick, hey. I think your chat didn't go through all the way. Momoa, yes, Jason Momoa is from Iowa. I was typing that out when you said his name. Yes. So Jason Momoa, Aquaman himself, my man is from Iowa. Yes, Patrick. I'm wondering if it went through the same questions for you as well, Patrick. Marfan45. Haven't seen a lot of your videos, but now I'm going to have to check out more of your videos now. What's your opinion on Only God Forgives? I have the controversial opinion of having it in one of my favorite movies. I'm gonna look this one up because I don't, off the top of my head, um, I don't know that movie. I really don't. Is it? I'm trying to think if it's one of the more recent, 2013. Only God Forgives. It looks like Ryan Gosling is in it. I honestly I have no idea about this movie. I'm gonna probably check it out because this week I'm trying to do this new thing where I wouldn't say new thing, but I'm trying to not watch movies I've already seen. So for this whole week, I'm trying to watch a bunch of new stuff so then I can actually like check it off my bucket list or watch list. But no, I have not seen this. Marvfan45, are you do you recommend checking it out? I mean, you're saying that it's one of your favorite movies, so I don't know why is it one of your favorite movies? Maybe down here in the chat you're gonna have your reasoning, but yeah, definitely check out my channel. I've been doing this for 3 years. This live stuff, I'm very much leaning more into live stuff. Again, I have a live show that's like sketch comedy, movie news, and a bunch of other weird stuff on Tuesdays. So check that out. There's replays on the channel. Seth says, yes, I saw Bloodshot. I was not a fan. Don't blame me, man. I have a feeling that there's maybe a select group of people that really enjoyed that film that were a big fan of the comic books. I felt like the core dynamic of all of the different characters in the movie felt cool, but it just didn't go anywhere. Yeah, Crunchy. Oh my gosh, Crunchy, you got a new avatar and it's scary. I don't like that at all. I thought it was a fun action movie. Yeah, it was fun as well. I mean, I won't deny that. It was very fun. I don't know if it was great. I think I gave it a middle of the road rating. I probably won't watch it again. Yes, Spooky says, yeah, last podcast is why I'm podcasting. Yes, absolutely. They I don't know how or why I found that podcast. But my God, like today I was walking. I'm trying to do walks every day just to clear my mind. And the one I was listening today, I think it was one of the side story ones. I was almost crying because I was laughing so hard. So yeah, great stuff there. Spongy asks, what's your favorite Bond movie? I think we had this question again from someone else a couple days ago. Favorite Bond movie, I would probably say it's so tough because each Bond kind of has their own style. The Daniel Craig ones are very much more serious and everything. So I would say probably Skyfall. I really like that one. That's one that I seem to kind of go back to and watch quite a bit. But my I wouldn't say guilty pleasure one, but I love the 90s, early 2000s Pierce Brosnan ones because those are the ones that I sort of grew up with. The one with Halle Berry, Rosamund Pike, and the giant Icarus telescope, or not telescope, satellite. I think it's Tomorrow Never Dies. I might be wrong. That one I really like. It's not good, but I really like it just because it has weird kind of things in it as well. Yes, Seth says Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend is a great comedy podcast. Yes, Conan O'Brien is another one that I'm keeping up on. I need to listen to the last half of the last episode, but that's a newer one that I just picked up. Very much I love that one. And Fake Doctors, Real Friends is fantastic if you're a Scrubs fan. Yes, I know I've been hearing quite a few people talk about that with Turk and JD doing their own podcast, getting guests on, talking about episodes. So yeah, if you're a fan of Scrubs, definitely check that out. Crunchy says or asks, what's your OnlyFans? What do you think my OnlyFans name would be? Because I got two names and I think that they're pretty good. Depending on how long this goes, honestly, I might, just kick it up and start going tomorrow with it. But I would say it's probably Buck Naked. That's a good OnlyFans. Or people made fun of me in high school about this, and I don't know why. I think that it's actually a funny name. Is since my last name is Buckendall, they would always call me Jared Fuck 'em all Buckendall. So I guess if I had an OnlyFans and I did only gangbang scenes, I would go with that one. So there we go. But Buck Naked, I think Buck Naked is the better of the names. My previous avatar was scary too. No, this one's even scarier, man. I'm not going to be able to sleep at night. Definitely, scary. Marvel fan, 45 again. I like it because it's more artsy and weird, but has some of the most gorgeous shots you'll ever see. But it's more of your interpretation of the movie like Mulholland Drive, but I enjoy weird artsy movie. It's honestly, you're selling me on it because I like weird and I like artsy. Those are the sort of, I wouldn't say super artsy, but definitely more like smaller indie movies that are doing some weird stuff. For example, I mean, even talk about Ryan Gosling, that's also in that movie that you mentioned. I love Drive. I know that a lot of people don't because it's more of kind of, your played out, it's playing in with the soundtrack and the score and the shots and everything, but I very much enjoy that movie for sure. Drive, I actually, a few of my videos, I have that Drive poster in the background, which is a Photoshop background, but I actually have that same poster back over there. So I don't know, maybe this long shot poster, I'll start switching out and put different posters of the ones that I have. I think that'd be interesting to kind of switch things up a little bit. Aja Walker asks, what types of songs or music do you listen to? I listen to a lot of things that are poppy. I wouldn't say today's pop. I have I have an old MP3 player, excuse me, and an old iPod that I haven't updated since like 2009, maybe 2009. So like all of the songs on there are like boom, boom, boom. Like I love early 90s, like pop music. I love things with a good beat, kind of like, every song or style of song that's in Night at the Roxbury, very much love that. Like, Rhythm is a Dancer, What is Love, Tonight, or not, This is the Night, or whatever. All of that stuff. Like my taste in music is weird. Like it's like jock jams, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Sia. Now I've been listening to a lot of Sia. My music is all over the place. Plus, when I don't drive anywhere anymore, but I'll turn it to the oldies, and I love listening to like 70s and 80s music as well. Like I love 80s music. Not a big fan of country because I think I grew up with it, and that was playing at all of our like hangouts and parties and stuff. So country music, I'll do it every now and then, but it's very much like a time and place and takes me back to a time and place, but it's not my first choice. All right, Marvel fan again. Also, I'm doing the same thing. I took out all of the movies in my collection that I hadn't seen and put all of their names in a hat. You know what? I love this idea. This is a fantastic idea, Marvel fan, and I feel like I need to do this, is really write down like 100 movies that I haven't seen and then click random number generator in Excel or some random, any website that gives you a random number, and then boom, that's what movie I need to watch that night. I think that is a fantastic idea. Anyone else out there, do that for sure. Yes, the FML is pretty iconic. I don't know. We will see. Up or Toy Story 3 are your favorite Pixar films? I like that. I remember watching Up for the first time, and like anyone else, you don't know how the beginning is going to play out. And I was completely in tears. That is the most like beautiful, heartwarming, and just cheap opening 11 minutes or 12 minutes of that film, because you go into a film, expect an animated film to expect to have a good time. It's fun and everything. And you're crying in the opening like 11 minutes. It's ridiculous. Kristen, what's going on? Thank you so much for dropping by and dropping a question. What are you doing outside of watching films in the quarantine? Picking up any new hobbies? I've been, obviously, just to get my head straight, I've been going on a lot of walks and exploring. Again, there's nothing to do outside. As for hobbies or doing things outside of that, I would say I haven't played video games in a long time, and I binged through or just completely flew through Final Fantasy VII, the remake of that. Absolutely love that. As for other things, I don't know. It's a lot of kind of writing and sketches, and I mean, it's not just me watching movies 24/7. It's a lot of me sitting down and writing. Like, for example, tomorrow, if anyone that is watching is a fan of Ending Explained Poorly. I have a new Ending Explained Poorly coming out tomorrow for like a ridiculous 80s movie that I never knew of. Jumped back, and honestly, the ending is ridiculous. So stay tuned for that. Definitely like a tease right there. But I don't know. I think I've done a lot more writing. I wish I did a lot more on top of that, but I haven't, because about 8 o'clock hits. Actually, this is late for me, but about 5 o'clock hits. I'm pouring myself a drink, which is bad. Don't drink, people. It's not good for you. What are your favorite hobbies? Favorite hobbies. I mean, this whole YouTube thing, that's kind of like my main hobby right now. It's kind of this weird thing where you can do all of these different things, but I was like, I need to focus on one thing. So it's like, boom, I'm focusing on YouTube. But over the years, and I haven't done it, a lot of my friends keep pushing me to do it. I think I'd probably be good at it. Again, it takes practice, but stand-up comedy. A lot of people say I'd be really good at that. I've written a bunch of stuff over the years. Honestly, my life is just, I can just go up there and tell stories. Like last night I had a couple people over and we were grilling and drinking, and we were just talking about like the quote unquote good old days. And I told a story that apparently none of them knew, and they were crying in tears because it was obviously very funny, but also very embarrassing. So yeah, stand-up comedy is something that I think I should do, but I'm trying to just laser focus on YouTube right now. But video games as well. I love cooking. I don't know if you were here for the last Q&A. I very much love cooking. Not exactly like baking, but I love kind of just putting together a thing, because it's like some days I just need to create something, if not a video, if not like an arts and crafts or a sketch. I just need to create something. So cooking is a nice outlet for myself. Spongy again, what award shows do you watch? I watch the Oscars, Golden Globes, BAFTA, and Critics' Choice. I would say that the only one I typically lean towards are the Oscars. That's kind of the main one, the one that carries the most prestige. I know a lot of people watch all of the other ones. Again, I'm not big into like TV shows and stuff like that. So like the Emmys and whatnot, I really don't care about. But yeah, the Oscars are probably the only main one, which is so funny to think about, because like, are the Oscars even going to happen this year? And I know a good percent, probably 80% of the nominees usually don't come out until November or December. So I'm curious that if movie theaters, if they don't open up this year, how that's going to change the landscape of the Oscars come next, February 2021. Curious about that. Oh, wow. Wow. Marvel fan. Thank you. Drive is directed by the same director of Only God Forgives. Sorry for no worries about commenting. That's what I want here. I want you guys to ask questions and comment and all of that stuff, because you know what? I love, this is a Q&A. This is for me. This is for you. We're doing this. But the fact that it's the same director very much intrigues me a little bit more, because I went into Drive expecting one thing, got something else, and every time that's on Netflix, I'll turn it on, because I think the soundtrack is something about that film that I very much enjoy. And a lot of people, fun fact, Oscar Isaac is in that film in a very small role. A lot of people don't remember that, but yeah, he is in that. And also Drive, I own the jacket. I was that character for Halloween one time. Do you think Team Iron Man was wrong? I thought that because Tony, Nat, Vision, and Rhodes just said whatever. I guess I've never really dove into that. I mean, obviously they took all of the characters. I think that those were, if you were to look at all of the other characters, those are the ones that would skew more towards the ideologies of Iron Man, or kind of what he was going for. In that movie. I don't know who else you'd really team up and whatnot, because Ant-Man was kind of persuaded or whatnot because he was a fan of Captain America, and Captain America was on Bucky's side because they're best friends. And yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting to think about that. And also, it's all subjective. I don't know. I mean, that airport scene is badass. That makes for one hell of a scene for sure. Like me, my music varies from pop, dance to metal, rock. Yeah, yeah, Skull Queen. That's the thing is like it really I mean, music, I love music. It really like music is probably the most nostalgic thing to me via media. Like the other day I was listening to the La La Land soundtrack and I took me back to a place where I was in a bad relationship. I was sitting in the movie theater by myself. Honestly, I was crying. I'm not going to deny that. But yeah, music is like very powerful indeed. I'm honestly just getting like a little teary-eyed thinking about that as well. Um, Spongy says, I have a podcast name already, and it's called Exploring the Film. That's awesome, man. Exploring the Film, definitely. It sounds like you're going to be going deep dives into certain film, going off the specifics, or is this still just an idea or a name? I'd be curious on what the process of that is. I know starting a podcast is difficult. Not necessarily difficult, but getting it right, getting it down to what you want it to be, the logo, the people, the guests, all that topics and whatnot. Let's see here. Crunchy asks, do you smoke weed? I do not, because Iowa does not have it as a legal source. If I lived in a different state, probably, but I don't. Alcohol, vodka soda. Honestly, like I'm 47 years old. I drink vodka soda. I'm very cool like that. Let's see here. You should do a channel based on stand-up comedy. Well, yeah, Spongy. I don't know if you're too familiar with a lot of my videos and whatnot, but I definitely try to put comedy and ridiculous kind of just off, random tangents in my videos. So yeah, I'm trying to not necessarily make a completely different channel, but rather try to incorporate my strengths into this channel because, yeah, again, the whole movie sphere and whatnot is tough to stand out in for sure. So yeah, the weird sketches, the weird comedy, the weird things I do set me apart. And also not being myself makes me more confident. Like, for example, like Halloween. I love Halloween so much because I get to dress up and be someone else. Therefore, I can do, I don't know, I'm just way more confident when I'm not myself, which seems so weird to say, but I don't know, dressing up, being someone else, like, wouldn't you want to be someone else just for a little bit of time? We got Rudy. Rudy from RA3 Productions, aka Rudy's Movie Reviews, coming in here. Thank you, Rudy. Hopefully things have been going well for you through this weird time. I know that you're kind of going back and doing some more, almost like passion videos, passion pieces, my man. Give me your top 5 movie soundtracks. No. Whew. Okay, this is a tough one. Because off the top of my head, I don't know. I would say soundtracks. Let's see here. Night at the Roxbury. I love that. Drive is really good. I think that there's probably one or two out there that are better, but for some reason I listened to that and I completely just like binged that music along with La La Land. La La Land hit me at a time and place where I needed it to, and almost gave me this like motivation to start my channel, because that story, if you're familiar with it and whatnot, it's kind of like, hey, do you go with the girl? Do you go with your essentially dream? Man, soundtracks for movies. Shoot, I'm trying to think of like 90s, like just cheese type songs or musicals. I don't know. I'm trying to stay away from musicals, but I'm only thinking of musicals. Like maybe even the Greatest Showman. Like, not a great movie, but I loved the music and I loved the dance in that movie, because again, I don't know if you're too familiar with it. I grew up or actually in college, I was in like a hip hop dance club. So that dancing in movies, I really admire, I would say. Hopefully that answered your question. Not really that great. Yes, Seth says a little bit down. Space Jam. Yes, Space Jam. Any 90s movie that has like 90s music in it, I would say. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Hopefully I don't fall here. I'm trying to get a better seat. I don't know, man. I would have to like really think that one through. School of Rock is pretty good. I would say School of Rock is good with all those kids playing music and everything. Let's see here. What are your Crunchy asked, what are your thoughts on theaters being closed? Would you prefer if movies just came on to streaming VOD? I mean, the whole fact that the movie theaters are closed, everyone needs to be safe. And I think that what they're doing, where they're trying to open up these restaurants, theaters, anything and everything, stores, so people can shop, I think everyone is doing this way too soon. Again, I'm not a medical professional. This is just from my standpoint and everything. It sucks because the movie theater, like for the last 2 months, I feel like my weeks and everything have been so confusing. I don't know what day of the week it is sometimes, because I used to base my week on Thursday, because every Wednesday or whenever the movie theater would post times, I would go on and I'd schedule and I'd be like, okay, I can catch a movie at 7 and then 9. But if I don't go at 9, I can catch it on Friday at like 4. So Thursday was like my boom. Like, this is the day I base everything off of. So I've been very like weird and like all over the place with my schedule. I want movie theaters to open. I just want it to be safe and I want new movies. But the thing is, if and when the movie theaters open, they're not playing any new movies for several months, probably. As for movies on streaming and VOD, I much prefer the movie theater. But then again, it really depends what kind of movie I'm looking for or I'm going for here. Because, like, for example, I watched a handful of VOD movies recently. Like, I watched Butt Boy. That was perfect for VOD. But we have Scoob coming out, and we have Capone coming out this week, and some Netflix movies. So I very much prefer the movie theater, but I'm wondering if this goes on for another 3 months, I might start leaning towards those VOD movies and stay-at-home movies. I think my biggest thing about the whole VOD and stay-at-home watching is that I always want to be on my phone. In a movie theater, in a dark movie theater, I never want to touch my phone, but at home, I'm always wanting to do that. Let's see here. What MCU shows have you watched? Those are the Netflix, Runaways, Cloak and Dagger, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Carter's Inhumans. I have watched a lot of the Netflix ones. I think I fell off probably halfway through, so I don't think I watched like right up before. I think I stopped right before the Defenders kicked off. So anything after the Defenders, I haven't seen. And also, I watched probably the first couple seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Anything and everything else I have not watched. So I'm kind of curious. Are they good? Are they bad? Do you recommend them? I don't know. I'm curious what you have to say about that, Spongy. But no, I haven't seen many of those because, again, I don't typically lean too much into TV. Okay, the name of the podcast, the name means that you choose films and understand its meaning and messages. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Mark Escobar, what's going on, Mark? Hey, how's it going? I'm doing well, man. Hopefully you are doing well as well. Always so happy that you're joining the chat, man. I appreciate it so much. You're a great fan and supporter, and love getting your questions because you know a lot about film. Let's see here. Do you think 2019 was the year of bad conclusions, except Endgame? Star Wars, Game of Thrones, X-Men, Arrowverse, first phase. I don't know. I think you gotta get the right person to finish or find a conclusion for a series, a franchise, everything like that. As for Star Wars, you can't please everyone. Honestly, I'm sorry, but the Star Wars fan base, you just cannot please everyone. So that one was sort of destined to be right down the middle, because I know that people that love Rise of Skywalker, I know that people that hate Rise of Skywalker. Game of Thrones, I never watched it, but getting the disgust from my coworkers whenever they would, because on Monday they would just yap about Game of Thrones. It sounds like Game of Thrones very much, just they just didn't let they rushed, like the two dudes were apparently going to go off and do a Star Wars thing that fell through. Now they're doing something for Netflix. God knows what they're doing. So from what it sounded like, they just wanted to be done and over with it. So that's why that went through. And X-Men was just, hey, get this movie out because we need to give these rights over to Disney. That's why all of this stuff happened, because it was impossible for it to finish the way that you wanted it to. Plus, yeah, I don't know. Bad conclusions, yes, but maybe happy beginnings with the, prequel, sequel, series, shows, and everything like that. Oh God, let's see here. Yes, Mission Spooky. My birthday is Halloween. Oh my gosh, that'd be a great birthday, because then you can, one, have birthday cake, and then two, dress up like a crazy person on your birthday. I think that would be perfect. That's awesome. Marvel fan again. I actually made a YouTube channel like 2 weeks ago. I only do reviews for stuff like no one has heard of and more weird, surreal, artsy, beautiful films. Seeing YouTubers like you are encouraged me. Yeah, man, that's great. I love someone reaching out and saying that I inspired them to start a channel, because again, anyone and everyone can do this. I just, oh my gosh, brain fart. Anyone and everyone can do this, just throw it on, talk about movies. If you love movies, if you love film, man, just do it. And everyone has to find their own kind of like niche and whatnot. So man, I appreciate that so much, but you leaning into more artsy and weird and surreal, that definitely has a market, because I know that there's a lot of people that are doing the same thing, going to these big blockbusters, making top 10 lists. So if you can crack in there with like a unique spin on things, then you have it made. You're going to find your audience, and you're going to do well. You're going to do well for sure. I know that I'm like 8 minutes behind on all of your guys' questions, but I'm trying to give my full thoughts for sure about all of this. Fave MCU movie, my favorite one, when I did my top 10 for the last time, or not my top 10, my ranking of the MCU, I had put Winter Soldier up there. I still think Winter Soldier is probably my favorite. Endgame, Infinity War, they're very close up there as well. I don't know. I love the MCU. I love those movies, but I think I'm getting to a point where it's like, I know what I'm going to get. I'm going to go in, I'm going to get an explosion. I'm going to get a holy crap moment. I'm going to get popcorn in my face. And that's what I love. But is that going to wear off? I don't know. I'm curious. Yeah, Mark says, yeah, season 3 of Daredevil is really good. I might have to check out. I don't know if I missed out on season 3. I guess my thing is I'm just disappointed and don't know if I should like sink more time into these certain shows, because they don't have a future. They just kind of fell off and ended. So yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, Mark, absolutely, man. No, thank you. Because honestly, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for people like you being able to tune in, ask questions, hang out, tuning in for live Q&As, tuning in for JBuck Live. Like, honestly, JBuck Live thrives on an audience. So you guys that tune in every single week and just chat and make fun and do all of that stuff and contribute with the bracket, like the bracket of the most perfectest movie, that I'm surprised it worked out as great as it did. So that's going to be a thing probably maybe once every other month, where we're going to throw in a genre. Like, we're going to figure out what's the best action movie, what's the best comedy movie, and you guys are going to vote for it. And I'm working on an automated system. So hopefully in the future, again, that's something I'm working on, but you guys are what makes this. So thank you. Oh, Zach Pope in the house. Zach, you're amazing. No, Zach, you're amazing. Yes, go give Zach some love. He's putting out great content. He just released a new clothing line. Yes, he's moving into clothes, everyone. He has merch over on TeePublic, I believe. 4 new shirts over there. So if you're a fan of Zach Pope, I'm sure the shirts are on sale right now. Go check those out if you want to support him. Deep in the Films core, jump over there and check out his video. But I believe that he got a merch line for his channel. I enjoyed the end of Game of Thrones. I don't know. I don't have any skin in the game because I did not watch it. I don't know. I think that I'm just like, yeah, you know. I missed it. I'm fine with it. Go watch it later. Oh yeah, that's what he's talking to Spongy. You inspire me to be more funny. No, thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. I don't know. Sometimes I don't think I'm that funny, but apparently people eat it up. So that's my kind of personality or style that I bring to my videos. So thank you. No, thank you. When are Cat in the Hat and Deadpool going to collab? Also, how many different outfits do you have? Yeah, when I did my Cats movie review, I had a Cat in the Hat outfit, and then Zach actually messaged me and was like, it'd be funny to somehow get a collaboration with Cat in the Hat and Deadpool. So I don't know. We'll have to reach out and talk about that and see what we can do with that. But also, how many different outfits do I have? I wouldn't say necessarily outfits. I know I have a handful of completed ones because, again, I love Halloween. So I have all of those costumes in like bags in the other room with little like labels on them so I can sift through and be like, okay, there's my Indiana Jones. There's my Zoolander. There's my Back to the Future. There's my Cat in the Hat. So there's a lot of completed ones, but also I have just bins and bins full of just random things I've bought or acquired over the years. Like I have a whole drawer of sunglasses or different kind of glasses, like old people glasses, different frames. I have a bunch of wigs. I have a bunch of hats. I have just a bin full of like suspenders and shirts and cut off jeans, aka jorts. Like I don't know, there's a lot of things that I don't throw away because I'm like, in 5 years I'm going to need this, so I'll throw it in a box. Yeah, I don't know, I got a bunch of weird stuff over there. Jared, you're one of those YouTubers that has heart like Zach, Colin Williams, and Sean Chandler. Wow, Spongy, that is a very great compliment. Thank you so much. Because yeah, I've worked with Colin, I've worked with Zach and Sean Chandler. Obviously, everyone is very familiar with him. I was supposed to meet him in Austin at South by Southwest, but all of that fell through. So maybe, I don't know, maybe in the future we'll work together. We'll do a video. We'll meet each other. We'll something like that. Seth says, yeah, season 3 of Daredevil was good. Yeah, you would know, you TV watching bastard. You're good, JBuck. We love you. Thank you, Mission Spooky. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Oscar Legend says, what is your ranking of the Batman movies? All of the Batman movies? Oh, man. I would have to sit down and think this one through. Let's see here. Batman movies. Obviously, The Dark Knight. And then I would say probably The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, then The Dark Knight Rises, even though I'm not a big fan of that. And then like the 90s ones, I really enjoy because they're just like goofy and weird. And like the Iceman has all of the puns. So I would say like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, or like let's sandwich them together and put them right there because they're goofy fun. I think the original one with Michael Keaton was too hyped for myself because I watched that for the first time probably 4 years ago. And I think, again, it was just too hyped for myself. But I would probably put that one below the one with the Penguin, because the Penguin I remember from my childhood and playing the Super Nintendo Batman game where you're with the giant rubber ducky and you're going through the sewers, I believe, if I remember that correctly. And then probably Batman v Superman at the bottom, because I don't know, that movie just sucks. I'm sorry, not sorry. Let's see here. Do you know I'm Puerto Rican? No, I didn't know that, and I live there. That's how my mom met Benicio and gave class to Ricky. No, I didn't know that, Spongy. That's awesome, man. No, I did not know that. Have you done a video on your favorite movies of all time? I'm thinking of doing one, but wouldn't rank them because I don't see how anyone can do that. Yeah, Marvel fan, I have not done that. I know that that's on my list of quote unquote ranking videos. I don't do too many ranking videos anymore because that's other people's material. They thrive off of that. I just don't see my opinion having much weight on ranking certain things. I would love to sit down and do my favorite movies of all time. Absolutely, like my top 10 favorite movies. But the thing is, it's so weird because it's so tough to really judge like Inception against Dumb and Dumber because they are completely different. One has comedy and nostalgia, but one of them has like technical, awesome filmmaking and lore. So it's so difficult to really do that. But no, that is a great idea. I would definitely like if you're thinking of movie or video ideas for your channel, get a notebook out and really just every time you think of something, write it down. I wish I actually have like 3 notebooks over here. My sister gave me like almost like a journal type thing. And these are full of essentially just sketches and ideas that I need to do. Like, I wish I could find a page and show you guys. Like all of this is half written comedy sketches. And like this one is a fake documentary of the DCEU after the events of Justice League, since there isn't going to be a Justice League 2. And it's a mockumentary of a film crew following Aquaman, the Flash, Superman, and Batman and Cyborg. And Aquaman is washed up working at SeaWorld. The Flash is now into the adult film business. And the Cyborg is, I apparently didn't finish it. But yeah, there's a bunch of weird stuff that I've written that I've just haven't gotten around to. So I don't know, maybe in the future we'll do that. Dan Jensen from Dan Jensen's Movie Talk. Oh my gosh, Dan, what are you doing? Will you go to prom with me? Absolutely. I was waiting for you to ask. I have a dress picked out. Please go and pick up a boutonniere and is that the boutonniere and sash? Yeah, go get that. We're going to go have a great time. We'll do a virtual prom. I think that'd be very fun. Dan, you're lovely. You're wonderful. Thank you for tuning in. Everyone that's watching, go over to Dan's channel and show him some love because he is one of my favorite guys over there on YouTube. He very much we connect. We're both weird. We're both goofy. We're both funny. I wish he lived closer because I would love to hang out with Dan. Check him out. I can say Ryan O'Toole has heart, but he doesn't want to collab with me. But aside from that, he's nice. Yeah, no, Ryan O'Toole is great. He's a wonderful person. He's the first person to ever comment on one of my videos. So he is great in the community. He has built a great channel over there. He's done great things. He's invited me over. So yeah, definitely Ryan O'Toole is wonderful. He's awesome. Oscar legend again. Which X-Men character do you want in the MCU first? Okay, everyone, this is a good question. Everyone says that they want Wolverine, and Wolverine needs to be the leader. I don't think so. I think we're going to switch it up completely different. Let's get some weird characters in there. Let's throw in some get a ragtag group of weird people. I grew up with the 90s cartoon, so I would love to see almost Cyclops in there somehow, but like make him interesting. He always feels like he's not that interesting, but get Dazzler in there. I believe Dazzler, get kind of the group that was in that cartoon and make them weird, make them goofy and whatnot. But I don't think that we're going to just get one, even though I think we should maybe get like one. But the thing is, it's going to be a group. We're probably going to get a group of X-Men starting off, and then it's going to spread out, and they're going to probably find new ones to reel them into the movies. But yeah, I would love to get like weird, goofy, out there ones because, I mean, any superpower you think of could be an X-Men because are they going to be tied directly to the source material or can they make up different characters? I would love to see just weird powers. Like I was always a fan of Toad, even though all he did was act like a toad. I don't know. I loved frogs and toads growing up. So for some reason I would lean towards that for sure. I think Venom and Amazing Spider-Man is in the same universe and Doctor Strange will introduce to that universe. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. I guess I'm just curious what deal does Sony and MCU and Marvel and whatnot, what are they doing behind the scenes and whatnot? Because they very much have hinted in Venom 2 that Venom or Spider-Man is going to show up in Venom 2. So I'm kind of curious, like, what the heck? What is going to happen? Somehow they're going to be connected. Somehow they're going to almost like maybe split off and make their own separate timeline, which might confuse people. But, you know, you can't have Venom without Spider-Man, or at least that's what I think. So, yeah, I think that the multiverse of madness is going to set up or introduce a bunch of new things to these different universes, and a bunch of new characters. So I'm on board. What color is the dress? Ooh, Mark, this is a good question. I'm thinking right off the top of the bat, maybe a nice bright blue, not exactly like a royal blue, but like a hue or two lighter than a royal blue. Otherwise, what I'm leaning towards, because I feel like it would very much complement my features, bring out my eyes, is a nice salmon. You know, like that pink color, not exactly like hot pink, not exactly like, you know, a periwinkle, but more of the salmon. That's what I'm going for, with maybe some sparklies in there as well. Doctor Strange 2 definitely won't tie in with the Sony movies. Oh my gosh, Crunchy, you're going against what I said. I would love to see you say why you don't think it's going to tie in. I'm curious. I think that it's going to somehow have some sort of hints towards it, but it's really dependent on how Morbius and Venom 2 are going to go. But, I mean, we got to wait even longer. We got to wait, what, a good year and a half now for those movies to come out. I got to go, but keep up the great work. I'll probably comment on some of your videos and just keep up with you. Dracula 92 is my favorite movie of all time. Currently, no. Marvel fan 45. Thank you so much for checking out the channel, hanging out, throwing your comments on movies. I love that. This is what this channel is, and this is what these Q&As are for. It's just to ask questions and kind of tell me what you think. Definitely kick up your channel, do what you feel is right, and go from there, man. Oh, Gaplin comes in here with a question. What did you think, or what do you think of The Platform? The Platform Netflix movie, kind of like a horror thriller, weird, almost psychological type movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on Netflix. I did an ending explained poorly on it. I didn't actually do a review. So the ending explained poorly is on my channel, but I really enjoyed that movie. It was weird. It was creepy, it was brutal, it was raw. It really brought up a lot of like ideas to things, and how like we could see this almost like sinister future, almost like dystopian type future as well. I really enjoyed it. I don't know, I'm curious what you thought of the film. Let me know in the comments, or the chat rather. Yeah, it brings up this very interesting idea, and also how like you would treat humanity and also social class, because with the different levels, anyone that's looking for an interesting film with almost like this creepy premise and up in the air interpretation for an ending, check it out. It's a quick 90 minutes on Netflix. Yes, The Platform for sure. I pray to God, I hope Marvel Studios will fix Fantastic Four. Yes, absolutely. I think that that's what they're going to do is Phase 4, Fantastic Four. We might not get it right away, but I think that we'll probably get it at the end, or at least hints and tips throughout Phase 4, and then Phase 5 will be Fantastic Four. I don't know. I'm very curious about that. But yes, Fantastic Four is, you can assume that that's like the main thing that they are going for the next kind of, I wouldn't say main group of the MCU, but they want to establish them, especially with Doctor Doom, and then how they can transition those characters or connect them with everyone else in the universe. So yeah. Hopefully they do them right. Are you kidding with the prom? Are you kidding with the prom, right? Yes, Spongy, Dan and I are kidding. But no, I would definitely pick a salmon colored dress, because I think that would just be lovely. Let's see here. I need to go, but last question. What's your favorite cinematography in a superhero movie? Mine is Batman Begins. Yeah, Batman Begins has some damn good cinematography. I'm gonna hint or kind of lean towards The Dark Knight. Just because overall the film I really enjoyed, but I'm curious on, or I don't know. That's what I'm leaning towards. I'm kind of blanking on anything that would really have like amazing cinematography, because I know Endgame, a lot of the Marvel stuff, even Batman movies, there's a lot of visual effects and stuff. So it's kind of like, is that the visual effects? Is that the cinematography? Where's the line to really switch it off? Yeah, I don't know. Probably Dark Knight with that one. Gaplin, I really liked the platform because it talks a lot about society and it has a very deep meaning, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. That's the thing is, like, in my video, I explained that it very much, tackles social class and very much puts you in like a moral conundrum of like, okay, if you're on level 37, are you mean to the people below you or are you nice to them? Because you could be below them next month. So it's kind of this weird thing where it's like you all need to work together. You need to be nice, all of that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's a very, very interesting movie. And I think that if you're any fan of like, like I said, those like psychological thriller, borderline horror films, check it out, which seems definitely not in line with the kind of movies that I watch, but I had been hearing nothing but good things about it. So checked it out and I really liked it. Which movie do you like better, Logan or The Dark Knight? Oh, I would say The Dark Knight only because I've watched it more. I think I've only watched Logan twice in the theaters and then once after the fact, but I think I need to go back and rewatch that movie because I love the kind of like lone, almost Western type feel of the character and the fact that he has this, very powerful character that essentially has Alzheimer's and can't control his powers anymore. And the way that it ends is such a beautiful end to the character. I think I think Logan carries more weight and meaning, but The Dark Knight is just, that movie just moves the whole time and it is fantastic. And Heath Ledger again is amazing in the role. So I'm going to lean towards The Dark Knight. Hey, Meaning Bird, you have been gone from JBuck Live and my live streams, my man. So thank you for joining. Do you have a huge collection of figurines and stuff? Actually, Skull Queen, I don't. I don't have any Blu-rays. I don't have any DVDs. I don't have any pops. I don't have any figurines. I think that I hate myself because I have this weird thing about like spending money on certain things. So I don't have a bunch of things on my desk and whatnot. I'm more of a weird kind of experience type person. Maybe in a couple years or whatnot, I'll start like leaning into more like personal, like you're saying, figurines and stuff that have meaning to me. But I just don't lean towards that. I know my brother upstairs, I should do a room tour of his office and just say it's my stuff because he has walls and walls and walls of Blu-rays and PlayStation 4 games and memorabilia and pops and like collective tins and t-shirts. Like, he loves collecting stuff. So I think he got that gene of the family and I didn't. So no, I don't really have much of a collection. Disney doesn't want or need the Venom verse. Every time Sony hints at it, Marvel always ignored it. Yeah, Crunchy, I 100% agree with you that Marvel and Disney don't need it. Sony's the one that needs it. But I'm curious if with the deal to be able to use Spider-Man, they have to somehow play nice with them. They somehow have to be like, okay, yeah, since you can have Spider-Man or you guys can have Spider-Man, but you have to let us use your character. So I'm wondering if it's going to be this weird, almost splintered two universe type movie or franchise rather. All right. Meaning Bird, have you seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Yes, I have. Very funny show. Love it. I think I've only watched 3 seasons of it, though. I very much love the Halloween heist episodes and sort of, the characters and reoccurring bits and everything like that. Yeah, love that show. I feel like I need to binge it and watch the rest of it, though. Glad to be remembered. Yeah, man. Meaning Bird, you've been gone. So, everyone every week is wondering where you're at. So hopefully you come back, my man. My top two favorite X-Men characters are Wolverine and Deadpool. Yeah, the movie verse, and actually from the video games, like there was this really not great Deadpool video game that was like PlayStation 4. I watched my brother play it, and it is weird, it is goofy, it very much has chimichangas all over the place. So yeah, Deadpool, even with like Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool, watching that on, I believe, Valentine's Day in 2016, like I absolutely love that movie and everything like that. And then Wolverine, like Hugh Jackman, what he did for that character is amazing. You can't deny that at all. So I would say that those are probably my two favorite, but also the fact that like they're the ones that have gotten the most spotlight. I mean, has any other X-Men character really popped on screen? Because they conditioned Wolverine to be the main character, and then Deadpool has already had two movies. He's apparently going to have like an X-Force and another movie. Like, I don't know, it's crazy. Deadpool, awesome. Yes, T-Buck's room of merchandise blows my mind. Yeah, I think we need to actually go through that room. I think it would be really fun to go through and actually make a video of it, but we need to go through for insurance purposes in case there's like a fire or something, just in case. But yeah, maybe I'll talk to my brother, and if you guys want to see his memorabilia room, there is a lot of stuff in there. I wouldn't mind for Tom Holland being in Venom 2, though. Definitely sounds more likely since Sony can do whatever they want. Yeah, Sony's just like, screw you, whatever. We're doing what we want. We want our things. I don't know. Again, we gotta wait so long to find out how Spider-Man Far From Home, how that ended. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure everyone has seen it, and you're very curious on kind of what's going to happen. It's so interesting to kind of see how that's going to play out in the future, because we've never had a Spider-Man that we never had a Spider-Man that has really had his identity be known by a lot of people. You know, there's been a handful of people that have known him, but we've never gotten that like, oh crap, everyone knows me. So does he go into hiding? Does he just not be Spider-Man? I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Skull Queen, now I'm curious about your bro's collection. Yeah, believe me, I don't know, maybe one day I'll just throw a big disclaimer on front of the video and say I don't own any of this, I'm just showing it off. But he has a lot of stuff, and he has some very valuable and rare pops, I'll say that. Let's see here. I know you like the MCU, but do you hate the DCEU? No, I really enjoy both of them for sure. The MCU, I feel like, I mean, it's with everyone. I feel like the MCU has more movies to it. So it's this weird thing where you almost can be like, oh, well, they've had more wins. And it's like, well, they've had so many more movies. But the DCEU, I really liked Shazam. I liked Aquaman. I liked, surprisingly, I liked Suicide Squad the first time, but rewatching it, a lot of it's not great. It's just, it's one big fun music video. That's what Suicide Squad is. You don't ask for anything more. That's it. But there are a handful of DCEU films that they didn't connect with me. I know a bunch of other people like them. They just didn't connect with me. I'm very much looking forward to the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, feeling like it's more like grounded, almost in the 90s and stuff like that. But Superman, I just feel like he's not really a compelling character. Someone in the chat is going to argue with me, but he just seems like he's too powerful that nothing can hurt him. So at the end of the day, it's just like, oh, I win. So it's like, how do you make the character have struggles and really, you know, almost have this fun arc to a character? Let's see here. Do you watch the new DuckTales? If not, why? Edgar Wright is in one episode. No, I haven't, but I know that like Ben Schwartz, for example, he's one of the voices of one of the ducks. No, so I haven't watched it. I know that the animation style, I wouldn't say is different, but it's unique. And maybe I should go out of my way and watch some new shows and movies and whatnot. I just haven't had the time, Mark, and it hasn't been essentially on my list. I mean, is it really good? Is it a show that's worth the watch? I know that I watched the old ones, or a handful of the old ones. I think in the 90s there was ones that I had recorded on the TVs or recorded on a VHS. I think my grandpa had recorded a handful of episodes, so I had watched those for sure. Yes, Dan, break into my house. I think that'd be fun. I'd be like, oh my gosh, someone's in my house. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's Dan and Skull Queen in my house. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy for sure. I'm hoping they bring Daredevil in to the next episode of Spider-Man. Yeah, they've kind of hinted at it many, many times, but they said that the Charlie Cox character, the main guy that played the Daredevil in the TV show, he's not going to be in that role. So maybe it's all a smokescreen. I don't know. Kind of curious about that. Explore or steal? I don't know. You guys do you. I'm going to show up. I'll be upstairs. I make you guys waffles. I don't know. You guys do your thing. So Jensen and Queenie doing a B and E. Yeah, you guys breaking into my house. Guys, let's see here. I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to probably wrap it up because I got to go get something to eat. I'm very hungry, but I also have a lot of editing to do. Again, I have a ending explained poorly for a ridiculous 80s movie that is dropping tomorrow, either at noon or nighttime, the same time that this started tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, guys, let me know what questions you guys, any last questions, you guys. Cartoon Network has gone downhill. Do you agree? Yes, absolutely. I don't watch it as much, obviously, so maybe that's the reason. But I remember how awesome Cartoon Network was in the 90s and early 2000s. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Like Friday nights, I would watch like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Dexter's Lab, everything on like it was this weird thing. It was like, were you Disney kid? Were you Nickelodeon? Were you Cartoon Network? I was the Cartoon Network kid. All my other friends were Nickelodeon. So yeah, I loved Courage the Cowardly Dog and the weird places that show goes. But now it's so weird. Like cartoons are different. Cartoons are very much different. They're goofier. I don't know. Not a fan of Cartoon Network really. So yeah, DuckTales is genuinely hilarious, and I've enjoyed a bunch of it. All right, I definitely have to check it out then. Let's see here. Wouldn't it be right if we didn't take a couple of our souvenirs? Yes, Dan. Break in and steal away. What has been one of your favorite Netflix series on Netflix? Man, I'm trying to think what has been a good series on Netflix recently. I'm trying to think. I haven't really watched too many series on Netflix. I watched that Too Hot to Handle, which was basically, I wouldn't say garbage TV, but it was essentially turn your brain off, kind of relax and everything. So yeah, Too Hot to Handle was ridiculous. But you know what? Here's a good one. I would say Sex Education. I came into season 1 very late, but season 2 I binge watched and very much loved it because it's just it tackles sex, it tackles these relationships, but it's also this weird where it's like present day, but it very much has way more of an influence of the 80s with the music and the clothing and everything. So Sex Education is a great one. Let's see here. Meaning Bird, have you played Modern Warfare 2 Remastered? No, I haven't played the remastered one. I played Modern Warfare 1 and 2 quite a bit back in high school with my friends and middle school, but I have not played the remastered ones. I'm curious. Maybe I need to go back and give that a shot because right now I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm playing through that on hard mode right now, and then a little bit of Battlefront because of all of the updates. Which is fun, which is definitely fun. Mark says, I love the adventures of Gumball. You can't argue with me that it's not hilarious. I can't because I haven't seen it. I know of the character because isn't it like a blue cat or something like that? Again, I don't know. It's just not something that's really in my viewing repertoire, I guess. Crunchy, I've always been a Disney shill. Good. I'm glad you admitted that. Denial is not a good thing. Not a question. Just wanted to say I love you, brother. Hope the rest of your night is amazing. Thank you, Dan. No, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, you live in the future, so maybe you know that there's a giant tidal wave that's going to scoop me up, and that's why you're saying that. But thank you so much for tuning in and asking a few questions. Last night, every night on your channel, or Saturday night for me, with the trivia is very fun. So please keep doing that even after we're done with all of this weird stuff. Thank you, Dan. Let's see here. Have you seen the Netflix show I Am Not Okay With This? You know what? A lot of people have asked me this and I have not seen it. So maybe I need to check that one out. I know the premise and everything like that, but I just haven't watched it. Haven't watched it at all. Gaplin asked, do you play on console or PC? I play on console. I have a PS4. I've tried to dabble on PC, but I think that it's something that I just need to grow into or practice because I'm not good with a keyboard, moving my fingers like that. You know, the ASDW or whatever like that. I play so much better with a console controller. And PC is so much quicker. People are just blasting you left and right. So yeah, I try to stay away from PC. Very much a PlayStation 4 person, which maybe later this week, I know that I started streaming some video games. I might go back and I think it'd maybe be fun to stream Resident Evil 4, my favorite one of the franchise. So maybe we might do that. Don't quote me on it, but yeah, I'm trying to stream some more video games just to have fun on the channel. Nothing serious, just kind of talking with you guys like this, but also playing a video game. So maybe Resident Evil 4, we will have to do that in the future. Let's see here. I love how my really old painting of a dog profile pic pops up on stream. Yeah, Meaning Bird, every time you ask a question, every time you talk or whatever, I'm clicking it and it's popping up there, man. Very, very old vintage photo for sure. I'm glad I accidentally noticed the stream was happening. Yeah, no, absolutely, Meaning Bird. I try to schedule these a couple days in advance, but this one was kind of run last minute. So thank you for, checking it out, man. Appreciate it. Let's see here. A Netflix original I recommend is The Midnight Gospel. It is very good. I'm going to look this up quick because I don't think I know this one. Midnight Gospel. We'll have to. Oh yeah. My friend actually told me about this the other day, and the animation. I will say the animation looks so trippy. Like I need to be on drugs to watch it. But they said that it was very well written and funny and whatnot. So maybe I'll have to check it out because isn't it like based on a podcast that's animated or something like that? Weird stuff. Anyways, guys, if you don't have any last final questions, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for checking it out, hanging out, all of that stuff. I'm going to wrap it up probably if you guys don't have any more questions because I don't want to lose my voice. Things coming up on the channel. Tomorrow, Ending Explained Poorly for this crazy 80s movie. I don't want to spoil it. I'll probably hint at it tomorrow. Otherwise, it'll be posted tomorrow at noon. Otherwise, 7 o'clock or later that night, depending on how quick it has to render. JBuck Live on Tuesday. I don't know what the topic and fun shenanigans are going to be on that episode. I'll be planning that, but every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Time, check out a new show with sketch comedy and commercials and all crazy weird stuff. I'm going to have quite a few reviews this week, actually. There's going to be one for maybe Capone, depending on how my time shakes out. But then a Netflix movie called The Wrong Missy, probably another Netflix thing on the weekend, but also Scoob. I'm about 75% sure I'm going to rent Scoob and review Scoob on Friday, so check that out. But everyone, thank you so much for joining in, asking questions, all of that stuff. You guys are wonderful. You guys are great. Thank you so much for giving me shit, asking questions, all of that stuff. Thank you so much. I wouldn't be here. I hate to say it all the time, but I really wouldn't be here with the amount of support if it wasn't for you guys. Yes, Skull Queen, we'll leave you with this one. Thank you for all of this. Thank you. And looking forward to seeing your brother's collection. Yes, we will see. We will see if that makes a video. Maybe I'll have to do some persuading for that. Let's see here. Is this going to be the last question? Yes, that is the last question. Meaning Bird, is this going to be the last question? That is the last question. Live Q&A. Maybe in one of these upcoming live Q&As, I can bring in on a guest or two. I think it'd be fun to just kind of talk with someone else with the chat and everything. But guys, gals, boys, girls, dogs, everyone in there. Or will it be this one? Oh, Dan sneaking in with the last question. Or will it be this one? Yes, Dan, you got it. Anyways, guys, safe times, all that stuff. I will see you guys tomorrow, I guess, or Tuesday.